It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming!
There's so much going on with the NNP, and we're just getting started. From candidate launches to contests, events, and breaking news. Be in the know. Get notified first about big events and announcements. Plus, we're here to listen. We want to hear from you. Leave us a comment, tell us what's working and what's not. Like what we're doing? Let us know. The NNP is working for you. Interact with us on Facebook. Come on, Grenada, get connected. Like us on Facebook/NNP Grenada and keep moving.
On Friday, May 10th, the most anticipated food and drink event is upon us again as the RGPF Police Week Comedy presents Food Fest 2019. Pearls Estrip is the venue as the clubs of the RGPF join forces with the Grenada Customs, Her Majesty's Prison, and the Grenada Airports Authority, and will all compete for culinary supremacy. From 12 midday, food goes on sale. Each participating club will prepare and present a variety of local dishes, which will be judged and critiqued based on taste, presentation, use of ingredients, and applied knowledge. I'm telling you, these guys and girls could cook. And as evening simmers in, the action gets turned up with music, top DJs, artists, live band, queen and king contestant appearances. Food Fest 2019, Pearls Airstrip, Friday, 10th May. The perfect family event.
Grenada prepares for fourth round mutual evaluation by the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. Stay with us, we'll have the details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Thursday, April 18th, I'm Delroy Louison. Grenada is preparing for its fourth round mutual evaluation by the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force in the second quarter of next year. Led by the Financial Intelligence Unit in partnership with the AML-CFT Commission, a workshop was held at the National Stadium on Thursday involving a multi-sectoral grouping which included government departments, financial institutions, and designated non-financial businesses and professions. Part of the day's exercise involved examining a technical compliance questionnaire to ensure they all knew what was expected of Grenada. Grenada will be judged on the 40 recommendations from the Financial Action Task Force to determine if it meets the criteria. Head of the Financial Intelligence Unit, Tafawa Pear, says the 2020 evaluation process includes an on-site visit for about 2 weeks with about 7 members, coming from different member countries of the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. They will use the 40 recommendations from the FATF as a guide. Mr. Pear says the focus will not be solely on technical compliance, but more so on effectiveness.
So this fourth round, we're focusing on effectiveness, whether or not the laws we put in place and we boast and tout about can in fact work on the ground. And we have to show that it has been working on the ground.
According to the FIU head, they have until December to submit their information. He says vigilance must be their watchword.
One of the issues we see is that institutions they have not yet embedded the AML-CFT into the psyche of the organization. Right? It's still outside the current culture. So they're doing that, and AML is that kind of thing they do on the side that the workers feel troubled by and uncomfortable and they complain about it. So them again with that, the FIU again with that, that's how they view it. We want that to change, we want to be part of the culture. So those of you who are in management position, have you considered including as part of your recognition at the end of the year, somebody who's vigilant in AML-CFT? Many people feel that is important, right? Have you considered remunerating people for being vigilant? and identifying them. Have you considered putting AML into the job description? So you have a supervisor who has a big role and there's no AML in a job description. If I know anything about anything, you can't manage like that. You must be guided by something in writing saying that AML is an important part of what you do.
Grenada went through the third round evaluation around 2008-2009. Minister for Education, the Honorable Emlyn Pear, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to meet with the leadership of the Grenada Union of Teachers to chart the way forward for education. Minister Pear, who was one of the facilitators of government's weekly post-cabinet briefing on Wednesday, said prior to the impasse, discussions were held between the government and teachers, which were fruitful. Minister Pear called on the newly elected executive to bridge the conversation gap that exists between both parties to resolve the current impasse.
To register the Ministry of Education's willingness to sit with the Grenada Union of Teachers to discuss the way forward. After last year's conference, which is an annual conference, I met with the president of the union and invited the executive to a monthly meeting with the Ministry of Education. Before the industrial actions, we were able to have 2 meetings. And as I said to the teachers yesterday, in my view, those 2 meetings set the tone and really did indicate, in my opinion, that we were ready to sit and work together to chart the way forward for the education system, and particularly to address outstanding matters between the Ministry of Education, Government of Grenada, and the Grenada Union of Teachers. Unfortunately, since the industrial action, we have not been able to find the time to sit and to continue discussion.
The Education Minister dismissed claims that government does not care about the teachers' well-being. She highlighted government's efforts to strategize ways to cushion the effects of the impasse on the education sector.
Government has been doing, and it's an irrefutable fact, that this government has done a lot for teachers. And this government, I believe, respects our teachers. Sometimes we mix things up, and we mix things up to the point that we can make things appear to be something else. I do believe that this government respects our teachers, and I believe that from the deepest part of my heart. I do also believe that this government is doing all that they can for our teachers within the government's means, and I do believe that the government will continue to do as much as it can do to support our teachers.
Minister Pear reiterated that in order to move forward efficiently, negotiations must be held. She called on the executive to return to the negotiating table.
We can't do that without communication. We have to talk. So if there's a negotiating table, we need to sit there and discuss. If there's an opportunity within the context of the ministry, we have to talk. And I think there is a gap, a conversation gap that needs to be filled. And as minister, I'm saying to the union, as I said yesterday, we are inviting again the new executive. Let us sit, let us discuss. We have the collective agreement between government and the union. There are outstanding things. I won't say to you we've done everything. There are outstanding things, but we need to sit and discuss.
Minister Pear addressed the GUT membership at the annual conference on Tuesday. This is the National Report. Stay with us. We'll have more news after the break.
The eyes of the world are on us more than ever. So let's take it to them. Saturday, May 4th, the Spice Mass Corporation launches Spice Mass 2019. The Caribbean's biggest summer festival. This year's launch starts with a roadshow from Ariza Car Park to the National Stadium from 3 p.m. Bring out your last year's costume and join the parade. It's one big experience with a display of fancy mask, traditional mask, Moko Jumbi, and the most envied Jab Jab. The official opening is at the National Stadium, featuring your favorite soca artists and DJs, Calypso Monarch, Steel Pan champions, and presentations of the 2019 Carnival Queen contestants, plus displays of 2019 costumes, SMC show tickets, and other attractions to be won. Saturday, May 4th, the National Stadium, the launch of Spice Mass 2019. Bring out the entire family. Log on to SpiceMassGrenada.com for more.
Continuing the news, the Ministry of Education says all schools have entered scores for school-based assessments into the system. When she last engaged the media, Minister for Education, the Honorable Emmeline Pear, had indicated that most schools had submitted scores, and the few who missed the deadline had requested an extension to be able to do so. During the weekly post-cabinet briefing on Wednesday, the minister commended principals and teachers for their significant cooperation in ensuring that the scores of all students were submitted. Meanwhile, representatives from the Caribbean Examinations Council will be in Grenada for 2 days in the first week of May to meet with the Ministry of Education officials and parents for the purpose of information sharing and clarifying all concerns. Minister Pear hopes the meeting will clear all doubts and misconceptions about SBAs. And finally, in the national report, the rank and file of the Royal Grenada Police Force is putting measures in place to actively prepare for the 2019 hurricane season. On Wednesday, officers participated in an annual hurricane preparedness tabletop exercise aimed at sharpening their skills in performing their duties should a hurricane strike. The session was used to develop individual plans for mobilization and deployment from the overall strategic plan of the RGPF. Training facilitator, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Jesmond Prince, spoke of the importance of engaging the officers in the training.
We usually start off the season with doing 3 things. One, we do an assessment of our resources, right? So we do what we call an inspection of our resources. We do a review of our plans, and then we take that and come into a tabletop exercise, which we're doing today. And then after that, we do what we call a simulation exercise, where we actually go on the ground and simulate something similar to what we anticipate a hurricane can do. And we bring all our players in. We sometimes even incorporate the hospital and NADMA and other players to play with us during that time. So this is the second part of what we do annually. The third part will be the actual exercise, the scenario-based exercise on the ground.
Prince says the training will also help the officers formulate a hurricane plan for their families in the event they are deployed. He highlighted some of the many benefits to be derived.
What we've seen over the years is that more and more officers are becoming familiar with the plan, and it's becoming like second nature. And that's what we really want to happen. We want every single officer in the RGPF to understand what the national plan is, and what the force plan is, what the district plan is, or the station plan is, and even their own personal plan, because this is right down to the individual personal plan for his or her family. Because it's difficult to have an officer come to work for you when he's worried about what is happening in his family. So this is cascaded all the way down to the officer's plan. So what we see happening is that more and more officers are becoming familiar with the overall plan, with the force plan, with the station plan, and again being encouraged to do their own plan.
That story concludes the national report for Thursday, April 2019. Recapping the headline, Grenada prepares for 4th round mutual evaluation by the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. On behalf of all who made this newscast possible, management and staff of the Government Information Service, thank you for joining us, and do have yourselves an enjoyable, peaceful Easter weekend.
On a magical night, like a can of sardine, the place was tight. But nowadays, if you should drop your contact lens in the stadium, you sure to find it in time to jump in a Juve band. While Soca Mona taking a moonwalk up to the Hall of Fame, with Calypso on a go slow, and it's a burning shame. Participation is now a fraction of what it used to be. The bacchanalists has lost their interest in the so nice. I reminisce the old time days of calypsos in the Isle of Spice. I reminisce the old time days. Whoa, yo. I gotta let you know, I grieving for the old time days. The days when calypso was calypso. When calypso born, I wanna born. Whilst my grievances persist, I sit and I reminisce and thank the Almighty God for all the good times we had. Even though I know for sure they ain't coming back no more, my hope still remains that Calypso will bounce back again. 'Cause I remember the golden days of Simon Pavilions. Semi-final night, everything was right. The whole place used to be spellbound. But nowadays, I see Calypsonians on stage, and once they perform, people on cell phones and carrying on their conversation. So obviously, this is contrary to what we used to know. It's evidence there's no more suspense in we Calypso. Just politics, recycle lyrics with no relevance. Nothing witty, nothing spicy to make the people dance. So I really miss the old time days.
The old time days. Yeah, well, me and singing the rest of the song. Good morning to you, Devon.
Can't help you with that one. Good morning to you, Sheldon. Good morning to Grenada.
Yes, good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Let me hear you. Good morning to each and every one of you. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
And this is Hard Talk. Well, vibing you. Yeah, pulsating. Out of City Sound FM 97.5 City Sound. Yeah, broadcasting out of River Road, St. George.
89.5 CRFM up there in Monjaloo. Campeche, good morning to you, my brother.
In the land of the Maroon Festival, 92.9 Sister Isle FM in Carriacou. Good morning to my Carriacou and Petit Martinique people preparing for the Maroon Festival this weekend. The rice rolling, the cuckoo cooking. Yes, man, we know it going down this weekend.
And I hear Brooklyn still cool, you know. Good morning, Brooklyn and the surrounding areas. 94.9 WeiVybz Radio.
You study Brooklyn Coal and don't study all of them book the ticket for Spice Mass already. You study, worry about them, they're worrying about you. All of them book the ticket already. The ticket book. Try and get a flight out of Brooklyn, out of New York right now to come to Grenada for Spice Mass 2K19. You go see what's going on. All ticket book up.
Nobody taking chances.
That to be adding on flights and all kind of things. Sometimes, a fella get tired up and think he decide, well, he can't get a vacation, then again, you have to take it early, and that's why you give up a space, that's why you finding a ticket, and that way. Everybody I talk to, and again, them talk, they saying, my ticket book already. I talked to a friend of mine, quite in Europe, ticket book already. Everybody booked their tickets already, brother. So everybody
smart.
On the way.
They're smart.
Everybody is on their way for Spice Mass 2019. In fact, Spice Mass will be launched next week Saturday. Not this Saturday, but next week Saturday. Spice Mass is going to be launched. Yeah, that's taking place at the Karani James Athletic Stadium parking lot, I believe. Yeah, it's taking place there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a parade from around the tunnel, another tunnel by Ariza.
Well, the Ariza car park.
The Ariza car park come up to
So from the bottom of the hospital step,
right,
coming down the road.
Right up
So
to the Queen's
if you know you're heading up on the western side, and you was going and pass under the tunnel and pass Shutong, not this Saturday, but next week Saturday, do pass the Popo. Yeah, do pass there when you see around, what time they say?
I think it's 4 o'clock it starts.
Yeah, so anytime around them time there, do pass. Because when the bands and them start to get together, you're going to have a blockage. And then, when blockage come, what does happen? You end up in hospital, all kind of things. So, not that type of blockage we're talking about, the next one. Right, so you have to be careful. When you're going down that side there, nice, right. But we'll give you more information.
Of course.
We're going to find, and at least Mr. Cook, Allen. Yeah. We have to find Mr. Kelvin Jacob. Yep. We have to find him on, you feel the guy in a way, we just start talking, we just get your number and call you, you bad like that. Yeah, we just calling you, we ain't afraid that, Yeah. I don't care where he there. He phone must answer. We calling him where he there. Right. Yeah, so Mr. Kelvin Jacob, we mightn't call you today, but we go call you. And when we call you, you have to answer.
Yeah, trust me. You have no choice, eh?
Yeah. You have to answer, brother. You have to answer. Zingo, good morning to you, man. We hope that you had a wonderful birthday. I hear Wade was carrying you to Lime, so that's why I'm calling you out earlier. I want to make sure you survive. I want to make sure that you survive, Papa. I don't know if Wade did end up getting you. I know they done kind of knock out already. Yes, I understand. I want to play a piece of Zingo for them. I bet you don't hear this song in a long time.
A tribute to Zingo.
I bet you don't hear that song in a long time.
Bling, bling. Cell phone ring. But nobody not answering. What? Is it some mama give something? Or we can find out. Put up your cellular. Raise up your cellular. For when I call, you must answer, girl. When I call, you must answer, girl. When I call, you must answer, girl. When I.
Muscles under a long time we hear that one, boy. Well, last year even hear cell phone ringing, so.
It's a long time.
No, you know, let me tell you, back in the days, right, when the pay-as-you-go phones just came out. Yeah, the pay-as-you-go, and then Digicel came on the scene, and Digicel started selling their, well, they didn't call it pay-as-you-go, but you know what we're talking about, the prepaid phones and so. I was traveling on a bus coming from town heading down to Grandance, and got in the area. You know where that old gas station used to be there? It's abandoned now. It's I see they're selling cars and so they're right across by Captain Harris area there.
Oh yeah.
Got to there, and I was on the bus, and one person phone went off. Brother man, everybody on the phone dipping, on the bus dipping. If you see everybody looking in the bag and all kind of thing, because all phones had the same kind of ringtone. You know, it's not this Nokia ringtone. So when it ring, like everybody on the phone,
everybody dip.
But just after Digicel had come on the scene and they had a kind of special, so people rush in and buy phone.
Buy phone like crazy. But so those phones are strong, man.
Well, the ones that you got initially from Cable and Wireless, the Nokia 5120, and then you had the Blue Soap, the indestructible Blue Soap.
The Blue Soap.
Yeah, that Blue Soap that a van drive over it, rainfall and with it, and it still was working. Yeah, that Blue Soap was indestructible. No wonder Nokia nearly go out of business. Anyhow, the bill phone that was too good, they nearly end up out of business. You know, the phone couldn't mash up. Digicel and Flo and them had to tell you, bring back the phone, don't get our next one. You know.
They had to beg for it. You know,
nobody was buying a phone, you know. Because the phone
they are offering you a new phone plus credit and everything just for the bring back that one. You know?
Yeah, because nobody was bringing in the phone. Nobody had a problem with the phone. The battery wasn't finishing. The phone could have fallen from the highest height and it's still working. So, I mean, the Blue Soap, man, you can't beat the Blue Soap and them phone and them the Motorola school bus, as they used to call it, the yellow and black one. Yeah. And then you had the flashlight phone and them that everybody had after Ivan. Yeah, because you had to have it because you didn't have electricity.
The peep light.
The peep light.
Yeah, peep light.
But don't bad talk that phone. That phone helped me out a lot after Ivan. To go through the bush, to go down in the river and bathe. That phone helped me a lot, boy. What? No joking.
That peep light is bright too, you know. What?
He bunks up a serpent because that serpent all over the place. And then he bunks up a serpent and you just see the two eye. I understand, That used to help a lot. But folks, it is a beautiful Tuesday. Yes, it is Tuesday. We know for some of you it feels like a Monday. We hope that you had a safe weekend. It was a long weekend. In fact, the longest weekend that you just find in the entire year. Yeah, you had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You understand? That's the longest one. You don't get another long one.
Well, it used to be in August, emancipation.
Used to be.
Yeah, took one out of it.
But still in August, you had, it used to be Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, so it used to be long,
It used to be long.
So that we do that again.
Now we do that again. Mm-hmm. And especially when the first of the weekend fall right around the Thursday. Or the Wednesday. Ooh.
I remember how that used to be, you know. I remember that. Yeah, I'm that old. I do remember when we had Monday and Tuesday.
Oh yeah. That's recently, somewhere in the 90s. I think they took it off.
I am that old.
Yeah, but you know, it's a good day when you're talking of holidays. And I think we still need to take away a few more holidays from our calendars. Yeah, some just ain't making sense at all. And we can do some work, productive work. For our country, economic wise and so.
Use one saying add two. You're saying take out some, but you're still saying add two.
Like
March 13th and October 19th.
Well, no, I wouldn't say a public holiday, right, for October 19th, right, and even March 13th, at this point in time, but it should be more
remembered.
Yes, more remembered, significantly, and thing, and
Plus remember it, man.
So I think that a holiday is not,
But
necessary.
over the weekend, though, some accidents again.
Yeah.
I saw one on my way home last night. I saw one. I made it around the island yesterday evening. Yeah, by force. I wasn't liming. Family thing. Yeah, around the island. But when I got down to Grand Dance, I saw a pretty bad one on the Maurice Bishop Highway. I couldn't tell if the vehicle was going up or down. What I could tell is that vehicle was well mashed up. Yeah, but I heard that the person got out okay.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I heard the person got out okay.
I saw one this morning on my way down.
Wow, which part?
Right around but the not how you call that Club the River Trubin Mellows.
Mellows, okay.
Right there. Apparently, our vehicle leader ran off the road and went into the ditch. But the guy is all right because I saw him standing out there.
That's why it's very important for you guys to make sure that your safety equipment in your vehicle is working properly. Yeah, that's why it's very important. Always make sure that your safety equipment in your vehicle is working properly. Sometimes, because it happened to me before, you think that you have airbags and you don't, Your airbags are there, but the fuse to the airbags might be blown.
Exactly.
So you get into an accident and you think your airbags might deploy and they don't, and then you're here. You can't sue the company, you can't sue nobody. It's you that have to check and make sure that your fuse is working and so on.
Maintenance is crucial.
It is important that you continue to check those things. It's important that you continue to make sure that what has to be working properly is working properly, and so you have to check your tires. Yeah. You should check your suspension and your oil and all these things every now and again.
All the fluids within your vehicles, check them.
I'm talking because Nazim and them not teach me that. No, not Nazim Benjamin.
Yeah, it's very important.
He and Ben up and them not tell me them kind of things. So Ben up, run, bye-bye, boy. Yeah. Partners, bye-bye. Yeah? Nice.
Once your fluids and so in your vehicle is checked, I mean, that's a regular thing. Every morning you're supposed to be doing that as a vehicle owner.
Yeah.
And so
walk around, check your tires.
Yeah, check your tires, check for leaks, check your radiator, and so you have enough fluid. Check your gas gauge, check your oil, your brakes fluid. You understand? All these things is very important because fluids is what runs that vehicle.
Yeah. So you have to double check, triple check if you want to, but make sure you check those things. Some people just jump in and drive like me sometimes.
Sometimes
at that period of time, I just jump in and drive. I must admit it.
And another thing again, you just jump in early morning, you get up, you just jump in, start the vehicle, and you're gone. That's bad. You need to let that vehicle spend at least 2-3 minutes warming up. Let the fluid again circulate effectively through the entire, it's like getting up in the morning and one of the first things you should do is drink a glass of water. You understand? So you basically start pumping the body again to getting it tuned to work. So I mean, there are a lot of things that we need to do.
But Devon, so I heard of one drowning in the Malmont area.
I heard of it, but I had no
actually
information.
One drowning and a boating incident involving a German national. I haven't gotten details in relation to both of them.
Yes.
We know Easter weekend. That's why me don't go on the beach Easter weekend. Yeah. It's not that Easter weekend somebody always dies on the beach. That's something spiritual or otherwise. It's that you have a higher volume of people going on the beach.
And you can't enjoy
when
yourself.
When you try to go on a beach on the weekend, the most secluded beach that you might think you alone and one or two people go in there and camp on the beach, they meet about 50-something people liming.
Not no more.
Yeah, so all beaches. Grenadians, when it's Easter, we tend to go all out. We're all over the place.
All over the rivers, waterfalls.
Which is why I was extremely careful and cautious in driving last night. I saw some people doing some real idiotic things on the road, and I'm not the perfect driver. I make mistakes. I'm not the perfect driver and I make mistakes. But some of what I saw last night, some people speeding, They're driving with the brightest of lights. They had the light on full beam. And especially some of the buses and some trucks, they've been doing it. And there were a lot of people driving around with one headlight. A lot. I saw about 6 last night alone, driving around with one headlight. So some of them is until you reach up close to them that you realize, hey, it's not a bike. Because you expect bikes to be on the road.
Of course. Strange
enough, I cannot say that I saw the bikers doing stupidness. I can't say. If you saw, you saw. If other people saw, they saw. I cannot say that I saw the bikers doing stupidness last night.
I heard of some.
The bikers have been kind of careful from what I'm seeing. The clubs and them, they have strict rules and so.
They need to be more organized.
No, but they are organized. You know, they have different biking clubs and so. And I think a lot of what they've been trying to push through those clubs have been getting through. You have the odd wild driver who they don't belong to any club. They see the guys passing, they just want to join, and they just jump the bike and they move. But they have some clubs and they have rules and so on, guidelines and so. Safety gear, for instance. I've been seeing a lot of them making sure that they have their safety gear and that sort of thing. So that's a positive.
I say that in the sense that in terms of the organization, the whole question of traveling on the road, right? It's a collaboration or an effort between both the Bikers Association and the Traffic Department, right? Because what you find happening and so on, yes, there is a police escort or two at times, but we need to be more organized in terms of how the bikers, remember we have narrow roads, and imagine 50, 60 bikers on the road, let's say St. David's Road, with all these corners, right? If you're not careful and organized, you can have a lot of accidents, right? And so I think one observation, in my view, is the whole question of them making the wrongs around the island and so on, being much more careful and having more outriders, police escorts and so to control the traffic. Because imagine you have a vehicle at the end of the back of all the bikers and you want to get to move with all our corners and so. You have to be very, very careful as to when you take over, right? And everything like that. So, some more planning needs to be put into it. And
last night, in driving last night, yesterday evening, I didn't have that problem, I think the bikers were most cooperative. I think they were most cooperative, and I want to commend those that I saw. I'm not saying that some probably somewhere didn't do some craziness, but I think they were really careful in how they were moving about. Not that they didn't have any incident, not that nobody didn't fall and thing. I think there was one or two.
Yeah, you'll find definitely.
Yeah, definitely will find that this two-wheel thing. Me in that.
And then the whole question of drinking and driving. Right?
Or drinking and riding.
Or drinking and riding. Over the weekend, you would have seen a lot of that, right? And we continue to appeal to our drivers, or groups of persons driving in a vehicle. Have a designated driver, right, to go and come to ensure everybody go and return home safe. And so it's very important. Too much of negligence. And again, our bus drivers. I've seen it every day. Bus drivers driving through St. George's, through Grenville, and you see them with a beer or Guinness in their hand, right? Drinking, and you're driving passengers, precious cargo, and you're doing that. Would you like for someone to be drinking alcohol and driving your child or your wife and or your family? Come on, think, guys. Guys and girls, drinking and driving is unacceptable.
Let me say a special good morning, though, to those of you on the live this morning. You found that we have been ignoring you. I'm sorry for that.
We are very sorry
so
for that.
Good morning to you, Hannah, and your points are well taken. Yeah, they had lots of camping going on. Lots of people went out and camped. I know a particular community that usually they go out and camp on the Easter weekend. They go out like the Thursday night and come back the Monday. Yeah, sometimes some come back the Sunday evening, some come back the Monday, because those that come back the Sunday evening, they use the Monday to organize for work and so.
For work and so. I know the Seventh-day Adventist people have a organized camp every Easter
in La Poterie at the campsite.
La Poterie, and at one time they used to be at Bartway, and so not in all the thing, but they would leave either the Sunday evening and so and prepare. And so lots of it persons. They are a lot of fun. A lot of fun outside there over the weekend. Right, some of us had to work, but hey, that's how it is. For the country to continue to move on, some have to work and some have to play. You know? And talking about playing and sports and all that kind of thing.
The Carriacou team and Deepo. No, I've not ignored your question, and we
No,
will
Deepo,
ask.
we're not.
We will ask Kelvin. Although I don't think he's the best placed person to ask that question. In relation to the Grenada Steel Band Association, after the resignation of the president, what is the present status of the Steel Band Association and so on? Since the president had been making certain statements and so. So, Deepo, we definitely will find out that. I'll ask Kelvin, although I don't think he's the best person to ask that. And I will follow up on that, definitely. He's on a bus the other day and he heard the driver asking anyone for Brooklyn. When did I miss the renaming ceremonies of some of our places? The thing is that what has been happening in Grenada is that certain places have begun to accept new names. So I know there's a Brooklyn in St. John, isn't it? There's a place in St. John that they call Brooklyn.
Yeah, I heard of
There's
it,
a place
but I
in
can't
St.
tell
John
you
that
where.
they refer to as Brooklyn. I do not think it is a new something. I think that's kind of established name for that area. So it's not a new thing. The ones that you may find kind of new is when they call Apartment to Saigon.
Saigon or Gaza.
Yeah, or this, and that's just some of the young people in the area trying to
making
scare
the mark,
off.
making the mark.
Yeah, but they're trying to scare off potential others from wanting to come and try anything in that area. So it's like, I from Saigon. But if you ask them about the Vietnam War, they can't tell you a single word.
At all. They have
They
no
just-
idea where Vietnam is.
Yeah, if you go in Saigon right now, it's one of the most peaceful, productive, and energetic places in the world. Businessmen from all over the world go to Saigon and Vietnam and that kind of thing. No, it's one of the best places for business. When they talk
in
about
Asia,
they talk about the Asian tigers and economic wise, Saigon is it. But some of these
Vietnam,
people talking and calling area Saigon right now, if you ask them about the Vietnam War, they cannot give you any details about the Vietnam War except to say America went there and get curtailed.
Or even where Vietnam is situated anyways. A lot of them use the name Gaza and Beirut and all, and they have no idea where these places are and the significance and everything like that.
Yes, and Nazibi is correct. Saigon came about in the early 90s when there used to be fights every weekend in that area, when you had Sugar Mill. And the guys used to go down there and used to have fight coming out or going into Sugar Mill. You used to end up with a local fight and thing in the area. And that's how the area got the name Saigon. It's not the official name, but it's just one of the names.
It's a nickname.
And you find one or two other areas get those kind of names coming up. So it's not an official thing, as in you could tell somebody when they're mailing something to you, mail it to so in Saigon.
No, you won't get
But it's an unofficial name.
Yes,
Yeah?
and Pele is always saying yes. There's a Brooklyn and St. John's.
Yeah, Pele, that's been around for a very, very long time. If there's another area they're calling Brooklyn, that one is a new one to me.
Yeah, Pele, you would know.
Yeah.
You would definitely know.
I know there's an area in St. Andrew, down behind Progress Park there, where they call Saigon. Well, behind Telescope, where they call they call it Baghdad.
Baghdad, yeah.
Yeah.
Wondering where Saigon, no Baghdad.
Baghdad, yeah, they call that area Baghdad. Yeah, so there's quite a bit of information that we need to find out about some of these new names that they're giving to places, but they're not official names. They're just like nicknames of places. Right?
Any thing significantly, any like serious accidents, anything out of the ordinary that we need to pay attention to for over the weekend? It has been a long Easter weekend. You went to fly kites, Sheldon?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't fly kites.
Wow. I did.
The last time I was flying a kite, I would have been, I had been, no, somebody said would have been, so I had been roughly about 11 or 12. That was the last time I fly a kite.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. One, I think that people have turned kite flying from a hobby into an annoyance. I'm being brutally honest with this. I think
you
some
have a
people
point there.
have turned kite flying from a hobby into an annoyance. Why should you leave your kites up all night to the annoyance of the people in your community and other communities? Secondly, they are endangering the lives of travelers who go between the islands via not just the SVG Air, that now the SVG airplane had to be docking. No, seriously. No, I'm telling you, Devon. Because where some people have kites, if a kite becomes entangled, according to the size of the kite, and so if it becomes entangled with the engine of that plane, you're going to be talking about lives lost. I'm being brutally honest with it. You're going to be talking about lives lost.
And lots of lives, eh?
Yeah.
On the ground.
Some people don't care about that.
Yeah.
Kite flying is your tradition. You have to fly a kite, no problem. But where you fly it is important. Also, there was an incident with a Liat flight. I'm right or wrong, Benji? There was an incident with a Liat flight coming in. One of those bigger airlines, not SVG Air, that had an incident where they saw a kite was in their flight path. Yeah, BA, British Airways. Yeah, there was a kite in their flight path. Now imagine that kite ends up in the engine blows out, and that plane crashes. So everybody on the plane dead, and if it crash into a populated area, people on the ground dead, because somebody decides they wouldn't listen and they want to fly the kite in any area that they feel like. So I believe right now it's beginning to become an annoyance and more than a hobby in some instances. Yeah? It's no longer about just fly a pretty kite and you make a nice kite and you fly it and then you pull your kite back in and next morning you go and you put out your kite again.
That's how we know it.
Some people leaving it out all night and you can't do that.
They put in the loudest among, and not only that, they know how the kite will make the most noise. Little piece of tail, so the kite just keep booting whole night. You know, it is an annoyance, and we need to do better than our youngsters. And you have grown men and women that does that too, understanding, you know, the area that you're in. And so, could I remember, going
yesterday
up
again, another one?
A big black one flying out of Lansapine yesterday.
Well, and that's the thing. They have issued notices. Do not fly kites to the south of the island in the Frequente area, even Monjalou, Calice, those areas you're not supposed to fly kites out in those, and some people just don't care. They don't care until a plane go down, because yesterday it happened again. Yesterday one was in the flight path of a plane again.
Virgin had to avoid it.
Yeah. So
for Judy was one of the kite spots back in the day, but
not now.
But when the international airport came into being, they had to call it up, because I mean that was a place where all schools basically at the end of around Easter would go down there. A lot of schools, not all, but a lot of them would go down there and fly kite because of the breeze, and so. But the international airport is there, and you know it creates a problem. I remember growing up too in the Paradise area in St. Andrews, right? When we flying kite, we couldn't go close to the airport, around the airport or certain areas to fly our kites because of the liats and so that would land in and where they would, you know.
You have to be. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
You have to be careful. I have to be because you still have people causing power outages, flying kites, and tying up with the power lines, endangering your life, endangering your life, and endangering the lives of others, and inconveniencing others as well. Because we just wouldn't hear, don't fly the kite near to the power. We just wouldn't hear.
Yeah, I'll be really honest. I was guilty of that over the weekend. I stayed right in the road by me and
officers all know where he is.
Yeah, I put up a kite right in the road, me and my son. I understand, just, you know, and it went up and stayed out there, but
officers, you know where to find him.
No interference with the electrical, and so we did it, and it worked out right. You know?
See, encouraging people to
go. No, I'm not encouraging nobody. I did something wrong. You know, but hey, I gotta be man enough to see when, because other people see me, saw me.
Well, Devon, the Carriacou team, they've been very active over the weekend as well.
Very active. Congratulations.
So, what's the goal? What was it? They count now?
Seven medals. Right. I think we had one goal.
That's what the athletics team. The swimming team were different. I'll find out.
The athletics team, we had one gold. We had 2 silvers and 4 bronze. Yeah, the lone gold coming from the student at the J.W. Fletcher secondary school. That's the female athlete in the discus, Sheldon. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to find a total for the swimmers, Grenada swimmers at the Carriacou. I haven't gotten it.
Yeah, there was a number of, at one point in time, they were tallying around 4 or 5 bronze so far, but I didn't get any more information.
So I know that Kimberly Ince in the girls 13 to 14 and Zachary Gresham in the boys 13 to 14 both won bronze for Grenada. Both won bronze for Grenada in the boys and the girls 100-meter backstroke. So I'm seeing that one. I know that we have other medals. So probably by
it ends tonight, based on the information Pili is
one
saying.
silver and one bronze there. Let me see who else there. I'm trying to get the total, but I'm not seeing a total. But I know the swimmers have brought back several medals, but I'm not seeing the total for the entire thing with them. But we know that we have a gold, 2 silver, and 4 bronze.
And 4 bronze in the Carriacou.
And Jamaica, as usual, come out with 50-something or 60-something medals.
Yes, they been dominating for the last couple of years. And then
but there's nothing special about Jamaica dominating. Jamaica has 2 million people.
Of course.
When they send a team that's always larger than all the other islands.
All of them.
If you go on a per capita basis, Grenada beating them. No, if you go on a per capita, in other words, you say, okay, for the number of people, the number of medals that you get, Grenada coming out on top Jamaica.
No, not just Jamaica, a lot of other big, larger countries.
Trinidad has, Jamaica has over 2 million people. I think Trinidad has 2 million. So Trinidad, they came in second with how much medals, and then Barbados, they don't have a million people, but they came in, they have a significant number. Grenada has 100 and something thousand people, and we send in and still come back with a set of medals. Be proud. Don't try and watch Jamaica and say, well, Jamaica mashing up because they send in more athletes and they have more athletes to choose from.
Exactly.
We have less to choose from. Be proud of what our athletes have been able to achieve. Yeah? Nice.
Also to Josh Botang.
Yeah.
Who has been
18.55 meters, the new Grenada shot put record. We say that already? No. Last time we talked was the discus record that Josh Botang had broken. Now he has broken the shot put record. And strange enough, he's the one that set the shot put record last year. May last year, he set the shot put record in El Dorado, Texas. Now, in Long Beach, I think this one has been the Long Beach Invitational. He has set a new shot put record for Grenada, and he has now qualified for the Pan American Games in the shot put. So he's qualified in discus and shot put. Yeah, he's inching closer to that 20 meter. We need a 20 and over. Yeah, we need a 20 and over.
I know you'll get to 23.
23, 24 going up there. Then I could feel really happy.
What's the world record? What's the world record for?
I don't have it, but I could find it out for the shot put. Yeah, I could find out this shot put. It has some fellas in them.
It can't be too far off.
Yeah, but I could tell you, man, it has some fellas and them over in from Europe. They when you see the and they throw.
I think they reach the 30s yet.
23. The world record is 23.12.
I tell you, so we're very close. We in far.
Yeah, and the Olympic record is 22.52.
We're breaking that 1 year.
Right?
1 year, Josh. We're breaking those records.
And here's what now: the women's world record in the shot put is actually longer than the Olympic world record for overall for men. The women's record is 22.63. Yeah, and we actually got a gold in the shot put at the Carriacou Games. I can't remember the young lady's name. We'll find it out before the end of today's program.
That's, what's her name from J Fletcher?
Yeah, a young lady there. She's the one that come and she bring in the medal, man. Where we go find it?
Yeah, we definitely will find it.
We go find it.
Yeah, no, so folks, congratulations to all of them.
It is a Tuesday, even though it feels like a Monday. It is a Tuesday, and we do know that usually we have the post-cabinet press briefing, but understand that cabinet would be meeting this morning, and therefore there's no post-cabinet today. We may have post-cabinet tomorrow, so our program kind of shifted. So we may have post-cab tomorrow and not today. So we'll open the phone lines all now. Remember tomorrow though, traffic warden recruitment exam.
Yeah.
So those of you that are interested in being a traffic warden, you need to head on to the SSU barracks in Point Saline tomorrow. That's the Royal Grenada Police Force. Yeah, they are staging those exams.
9 a.m. tomorrow.
So don't reach there 9 a.m.
Yeah, reach there for 8 o'clock, 8:30.
Yeah, relax and thing. And if you tell them SSU Sheldon say give you a little breakfast and thing, they might feel sorry for you and handle you. I'm a boy and them down there.
As you're talking about that, before I make my comment when it comes to that, it could be a question of logistics, and so I'm taking all of that into consideration. But in future, right, to the Royal Grenada Police Force and the Ministry of Works, and so in setting those the warden exams, and so I think the venue, and so right, should be looked at, right, and could make it similar to the recruitment for the police in terms of, because you have persons, I mean, from as far as St. Patrick's, St. Andrews, and so who will have to make it down to Camp Celine, right, and so on. It may be difficult, right? So if in future, right, based on the amount of persons that you may extend, you can have more than one centers, right, in the different parishes to do that warden exam. And so because the mere fact that you basically asking for persons to come, that means, there's a need, for them. So just a
because
consideration.
It's kind of difficult for the person that's coming, let's say, from Mount Horn now.
Yeah.
They have to get that bus down to Grenville, and then from Grenville they have to head down to town, and then from town they have to get a bus that going down to Point Saline.
Exactly.
And even worse for the person that's coming from, let's say, Mount Rich or Rose Hill.
Yeah, 2-3 buses you have to take
from there
to Grenville.
Yeah,
right?
it's hard.
Either from Montrich to Sotters or Montrich to Grenville, from Grenville to St. George's, and then down to Point Saline. So you're talking at least return, you'll spend in excess of $20-$25 just for transportation.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard.
So consideration, I think both the Ministry of Works and the Royal Grenada Police Force, the traffic department.
And we're right now is during the vacation period.
Yeah.
So the schools are available as centers during the week.
Exactly.
So it is not difficult to say, let's have
one decentralize it,
one center here. I know it takes additional resources because then you have to have additional invigilators.
That's why I said in terms of logistics, I don't know how the logistics and how they, and so, but something that they need to consider, because
again too, it's the numbers that they're looking for. Maybe they're looking for a smaller number
but
these.
Eventually that the whole warden thing, they will be looking for much more than what they have right now, because it's beginning to make a lot of sense to us as to why they are there, the importance that they are playing, and give it time, and they will get more professional and so on, and do a much more effective job. But it is well needed.
A few years ago when it was started in Trinidad, I know there was some pushback from the public. It's like, what if and they think, but eventually they started getting used to it.
And they will see the need. The need for it, having them there, and so and having the police officers doing much more needed, right, duties and so, because we have a very small police force, and we can't stretch them too thin. So the idea of the traffic wardens is an excellent one, right, and I know it will grow, right, because there's a need for it.
So. Folks, 440-7377, that's one of the numbers for you to call and get onto the inside.
Okay, and 347-329-3101. I think the young lady name is Kelsey
Morel.
Kelsey
Morel. Yeah, that's the name.
Yeah.
Kelsey Morel Ross. I'm 17-year-old, first time at under 20.
Under 20.
Yeah, Kelsey Morel. So she's done pretty well with the shot put. So she's gotten a gold medal.
So congratulations to the entire team and officials who made Grenada proud once again, on the international and regional stage.
And I want to commend the entire team, even those who may not have medaled.
Yeah.
And the thing is this, sometimes we look at those and we say, we're praising those who got the medals. But you see, sometimes those that go this time and get the experience, they mightn't get a medal, but I get the experience. The next
Exactly.
time around, look out for them,
Yeah.
you know.
And then
Look out for them.
And then the role that they will be playing while there as support to the other athletes. And so that is very important, because I may not be the best runner or the best thrower, but the support I can give my fellow athletes, and so would be so important as to whether they get the gold or the silver. And so it's a team effort, and we need to congratulate all of them and give them more support.
Yeah.
You know?
So again, as we said, it was a pretty, not a quiet weekend. It had a lot of activities going on all over. In fact, I tend to find the only time that has more activities than the Easter weekend is Carnival time.
It's Carnival, yeah.
Even Christmas time, you have little Christmas parties and that kind of thing, but that's one thing. But this time, you have parties, you have family get-togethers, you have bike ride. You do a bike ride when it's Christmas. And you have round the island, you have people going out and camp. They don't do that when it's Christmas.
Flying, yeah.
So you have a lot more things that usually take place around this time of year. And for all of us who have come through unscathed, me, I spend most of my time home.
Praise God.
Babysitting. Yeah. You know, that's the thing these days.
I think too, Sheldon, that Easter weekend, I think there's a need to, in my view, commercialize it much more. Right? Create much more events.
You want to commercialize it?
Yeah, create much more events of substance, and so and decentralize it much more. Always it started already, yeah, because where you'll find thousands of people back in the day in Bathway alone, you find much more people stretching in different beaches or waterfalls and that sort of things, you know. So you have more village and community-oriented activities taking place right now around the Easter, and that is good.
Well, as you mentioned that, we must say a special good morning to the Honorable Delma Thomas.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if did she recover from Friday?
I don't know if she run. I don't know. I reached up in St. Andrew. I couldn't reach across Bay. But I do know that they had one massive sports up there in Mount Horn. When it comes to village sports, Mount Horn have it.
Yeah, that's a big. I rain, I understand, but it was
When it comes to village sports, we have to say Mount Horn have it.
I know one set of people who had their head hurting them on that day was the Royal Grenada Police Force, the traffic department, right? In terms of the traffic and so that was, man. But it's getting bigger, eh? Trust me, it's getting bigger.
You mentioned the Royal Grenada Police Force. Remember, Food Fest is coming up on the 10th of May.
Yes, boy.
Yeah. So 10th of May, Food Fest. The Royal Grenada Police Force, Food Fest.
Old Pearl Airport Strip.
Yeah, you're getting all type of oil dung. You're getting vegetable oil dung. Yeah, the log still on the fridge.
Do mention log, because we'll get log from in the fridge.
2 years are
yes.
2 years are log on the fridge waiting on us.
I don't want no log from the fridge. Don't mention it at all.
2 years are log on the fridge right now. The year before log, I mean last year log. So two of them waiting.
Morning to all the members of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
And no excuse because Devon was there last year.
I was there.
Right.
Definitely. Although I ain't get food.
But
I ain't get.
For some reason in the back of my mind, there seems to be another activity for me on the 10th of May. One that may have me in the St. Andrew area. One that I definitely cannot say I'm not going to. And so it may lend to me being able to show my face for a while over at the in Pearls, because I'll be kind of very, very close.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a high possibility I'll be up there. All right, nice. Beautiful. 4407377. We say
347-329-3101.
We say a very special good morning to all our online listeners and those of you listening wherever you are, especially out there in the Grenadian diaspora. Good morning to you, Wade. We hope that you had a wonderful weekend. And Muscles and Mr. Kenneth Watts, we say a very special good morning to you.
Good morning to you and your family, sir.
Yeah. Let me say a special good morning to my family, the Duncan family, the Coy family, both in Carriacou and out there in the diaspora. Those of you out in the New York area. Uncle Ba, good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful morning this morning. And Stacy and Jemlyn and Millie, all of you, good morning. I hope that you're having a wonderful morning this morning. I know they usually tune in. Stacey, I know you're listening. So say a good morning to all of you. All right? Nice. And up there in Carriacou, Bossy, morning. Yeah, Maitland, morning. And my good cousin up there in Pitty Matnick, Hudson, good morning. Yeah, I had to tell my family morning, man. Family is it, sir?
Always.
Yeah, but Devon, this morning again, I was listening to a program on my way here, and I heard the statement being made again about the NIS. Because there still seems to be this false perception by many people out there that government pushing their hand in NIS and take what they ain't supposed to take and that sort of thing again.
NIS, what?
And government get a haircut from NIS and so on. We're going to talk about that in a while. There's a call on the line. Let's go to the phone line and then we'll come back.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning. Hello.
Yeah, I push the right one. Hello. Yeah. Hello.
Nope.
Ah boy, like they changed their mind.
Yeah.
When it comes to the national insurance scheme, one, remember, on a monthly basis, even if it's $15 you're paying, when you retire, it's not $15 you're going to be collecting.
On a monthly basis.
It's not. You might be paying $15 every month right now for the year. 12 months of this year, you pay $15 a month every month. When you retire, the NIS is not going to be paying you $15. They might be paying you a couple $100.
So imagine you're paying $180 every year, right, in NIS.
But NIS has to find a couple thousand to pay you.
Exactly, at the end of, you know.
So it is not a situation where exactly what you pay is exactly what you're getting back.
Yeah.
It has to be grown. You have to plant that seed and you have to grow it. Yeah? So what do they do with your $15 when you put it there? The NIS doesn't take your $15 and leave it there and say, when Sheldon Scott retire, we go in and give him that $15. You know what the NIS does? They say, we have to invest that $15 and make that 15 into 30 within a period of time, into 60 within the next period of time. They have to make it into 90, then they have to make it into 120, and they have to keep doubling up on your money. And then, remember, they are managing that money, so there are fees associated with managing your $15. There are fees associated, $15 or none. There are fees associated with that.
Oh, yeah.
Then, when the time comes to pay you, there are administrative fees attached to that as well. So the NIS has to find a way to turn your $15 into a $300.
Into a $300. And not just that, that's just part of it. What about when you fall sick and you have to claim NIS benefits and so when they have to pay you back? Where does that money come from? I mean, we have to think of all of that, right? Because sometime in 1 year, NIS may have to pay you a couple $100 and so for some benefits that you know, through injuries, through whatever. These things must be taken into consideration.
Yeah, so it is dunce. You know me, I like to say it plain, and who vex and who like it. But it is dunce to be talking about leave we money in the NIS. If you leave your money in the NIS, there will be no money in the NIS. Because you can't be expecting to pay, and this is coming, one of them some of the people I'm hearing this from, right, are actually retirees, and some of them work in the financial sector, so they know what I'm saying here is the truth. But because they are so blinded by politics, they can't find themselves speaking the truth to the people of Grenada. It is dunce to be talking about leave we money in the NIS.
But that's deliberate what they're doing,
Yeah.
They must.
Because they want to give the impression that the government is thieving workers' money out of the NIS. That is ingenuous. It is an unintellectual and disingenuous way of putting forward an argument for what is taking place with NIS.
Very deceptive and so they do not injustice to the Grenadian people.
So you cannot expect that you're going to continue just paying $15 and everybody going to pay just a percentage and then receive much more than what they put in when the time comes for an extended period of time. That can't work, because eventually what would happen is the NIS will not be able to make those payments, because to pay you, if they're not investing the money and they're not taking bonds from governments and treasury bills from governments and so on, and they're not taking bonds and so from different organizations and not investing in stock market and other means of getting money. If they're not investing that money, what is going to happen is you might find that the NIS has 40 million, but they have to pay out 90 million.
Yeah.
In other words, they go bust.
Yeah. They got to borrow.
They must invest. NIS doesn't have money and want to keep the money. They don't have money. Banks is the same thing. The bank take your money, but they don't intend to just hold your money. You feel your money in the bank right now?
No.
The bank don't have your money inside it. If everybody walk down to Scotiabank right now and say we want we money, Scotiabank cannot pay everybody that want the money right now. You know why?
You have to call the police on them.
Yeah, your money has been invested.
Exactly.
Because they don't expect that everybody gonna come to them one time and say we want your money. So they have invested your money in different places. So when Devon want to buy a bus and Devon goes to Scotiabank and he say, I want $100,000 because I want to go and buy a new bus. Scotiabank takes my local 800 I might have inside it. They take another man 30,000 he have inside it. They take different people money and they lend Devon.
And pay for the bus.
But what they do, they charge for the processing. So they put a fee on that for the processing. That's how the bank make a little bit of money. Then on top of that, they charge interest. So when he paying back the 100,000, it's not that alone he paying interest on that 100,000. Yeah? And that is how they make money off of your money. Yeah. If you come for your $800, they're giving you $800, but that is not the same $800 you put in. That is $800 from somebody that come after you and put the money inside there. That is how the banking system works. Why you think what happened to Cap Bank happened to Cap Bank? That's what happened to Cap Bank. And everybody just decide. One man went, he said he want the money. He couldn't get that amount of money at the point in time. Everybody say, Cap Bank take we money and spend it. And everybody run down to Cap Bank. Let me get your money. There's no way Cap Bank could have pay back everybody the money one time because you had man, they give loan for bus. You had people that give loan to buy property.
House and everything, yeah.
These people would have repay in 10 years, in 15 years and all that kind of thing. So that money was outside. They might have had it in assets or so, but they don't have it cash. Yeah, so somebody come and everybody come and they want the money now. They couldn't do it. And that's the same with any bank in Grenada right now.
A very interesting question though that was asking by Sadabo. Clico and Baico, did NIS invest anything in both of these institutions?
I think they may have. Yeah. I think they may have invested in them. I'm not positive.
I know of
but
Clico.
I think they may have.
Yeah,
I know I did.
Yeah, I know of Clico, but I'm not sure for Baico and whole, thing. But I know that some, as to how much, we don't know. I know companies like Gravel and Concrete and some of them, they invested heavily in Clico and so on, lost like a lot of other Grenadian companies and individuals, and yeah.
Yeah, I know, for instance, the Seamen and Waterfront Workers Union.
Ooh,
man,
they got hit.
Knock. They got hit hard. The pension
they got knocked down.
The pension plan, whoops.
They got knocked down.
What I do know as well, though, is that the regional governments, especially the OECS governments, are pressuring to get the monies coming back, because for any region to just lose, you're talking about literally tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, just
a couple of $100 million
out of people. You have people in Grenada here, $500,000, just gone.
$250,000, $500,000,
gone.
100,000.
And then the smaller people, you look at 10 and 15 and 20. The elderly people,
all their savings.
Yeah, just gone. So it is a situation that I know that regional heads, every time they meet, not only do they talk, but they continue the process of pressuring, because it seems as though the people in charge of Clico and Baico only interested in paying Trinidad and Barbados. But when it comes to Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Dominica, and the rest of the countries here, they ain't in a hurry. They're going to pay, but they ain't in a hurry. Like, there was some people dead first. So they ain't in a hurry to pay, but they go still pay the people estate though. Yeah? In fact, one individual, two brothers, did a case recently, I think out of Dominica, brought a case against Clico saying, listen, yeah, we know all you're going to pay eventually, but we want we money now. Our situation is desperate, we want we money now, and they had to be paid. Yeah, they were paid nearly immediately, including interest for what they were owed and so. So maybe one or two people need to start looking at that away. Yeah, Pele, people like Godzilla and even my brother, all of them, they left, retired and so on, and man, it's not easy after you work that hard on that port. And then you put your money into this Clico, Baico thing, and then...
You're talking about men who are working there since the 60s,
Yeah.
Right?
It has gotten me to the stage where I am afraid to join insurance right now. It's gotten me to that stage, because I put a couple $1,000 well over the years. And it got me to that stage that because I had medical, I had annuity, and I had life. So I had nearly everything. And in the beginning, when I saw this thing starting collapse in Trinidad and I asked about it, they told me over here, don't worry about that, man. Just continue paying. So could laugh about it.
Never had an urge for these type of investments. Eh?
Yes, it's good to have insurance. It's good, but
definitely.
Just unfortunately, it's a risk you're taking, and sometimes the risk don't pay off.
And it's a necessity too, because when you think about the banks going for a loan, going for whatever, you need insurance to cover all of that. So.
But we had been speaking about the NIS, and we're saying that the NIS doesn't want dead money. When we say it doesn't want dead money, it doesn't want money that just stays there and isn't building up. So it is dunce, especially for anybody who works in the financial sector, to be making a statement as in, tell them leave with money in the NIS alone, hands off with money in the NIS. You must reinvest and invest the money from the National Insurance Scheme. One of these days, Devon, we really must get somebody from the NIS inside here.
We need to.
You must invest and reinvest that money in the, and after you invest it, and you get your returns and so on, and they double your money, they triple your money. They can't stop there, you know. They have to continue doing that. They have to continue always investing. Government come out with bonds. Government say, okay, pay us $10 for this. We're going to pay you back in 15 years, but when we pay you back, we'll give you $55 for it. That's what you gave me $10 for right now. That's how the bonds and so on and the government bills and so does work. So government does that. Government asks for a haircut. Government did not receive a haircut from the National Insurance Scheme. What the National Insurance Scheme say, okay, if you owe us 10 million, we are not going to say pay us 5 million and forget 5 million. What we're going to say, pay us the 10 million. But if you had to pay us in 5 years,
pay us in 10.
Pay us in 10. So we half in your payment that you had to pay us on a monthly basis. We cut in your payment by half. Can you survive with that? Government say yes, okay, think good.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. So they extended the period of payment and lowered the monthly payments or the biannual or whatever whatever period the payments are made on. They extended that period of time so that the payments would be smaller payments over a longer period of time.
Much easier for government to afford.
Right, but which also doesn't affect the pensioners and the other beneficiaries out of the NIS, because the money will be coming in. It definitely will be coming in, just over a longer period of time. Yeah? So that is what is taking place with the NIS there right now. Hannah is saying she saw something on Facebook that Liat would be no more. My dear, that is something I have to do some investigation in relation to. I think Prime Minister Gonzalez has been speaking about that.
Yeah,
he has been speaking about that.
I haven't got any details of it, but we need to pick up some information and share it with us. So
I don't like to speak about things I know about.
We don't know. And we want to be factual and give you, information that you can even build for yourself, and.
And one of the other things, and folks, feel free to call. I know someone was calling on the overseas line for some reason. The call didn't go through. So if you want to call back, you can call back. And I think I also missed one on the local line, so you can call at any point in time. Feel free. Now, what we've also been seeing is that if you look online, and this is the reason I'm very hesitant sometimes to admit to certain things or conform to certain things I see on social media. I'll say this, 2 in 3 stories, every 3 stories you see on Facebook is not true.
Fake news. They'll say it.
Yeah, I tell you, I don't want to be using the same term as Donald Trump. But 2 in 3. Number 1, people get excited when they see something that falls along their line of thinking. Yeah. So you see an article that comes out saying that coconut oil is bad for you.
For your health, yeah.
And somebody sees that headline, they just glimpse through the story and they take it and they share that. They just share that story. Coconut oil is bad for you. And they go and they share that story. Now, when you go and you share that story, you know what you've done? You've helped propagate the internet with that, because then everybody on your Facebook reads that story. And so you know what you didn't do? You didn't check to see if it comes from a reliable source. There are literally millions of websites and so on. I could sit here and during the program create a website and start to post news there. That doesn't mean that the news is true. I usually check if it's from a reliable source, the BBC, CNN, and I say reliable, quote unquote.
Yes, quote
but
unquote.
traditional news sources. the Trinidad and Tobago Express, the Trinidad Guardian,
Daily News,
Jamaica Gleaner, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and so on.
Barbados Mirror.
You look at newspapers and so on, you look at for articles from sources that generally have a image to protect.
Reputation.
You have a reputation to protect as well, yeah. And that's what I look for when I look for a story. But if I see something come from, let's say, Grenadian Nutmeg Society by underthecocoa.com, that's long as I make up something. I ain't going and put that out as though it come from some kind of thing.
Or you need to investigate it more before you...
Yeah. And there are websites that you can use like Snopes.com and so on that you can use to find out if stories are true or fake.
Correct, yeah.
So you may tend to find, Sheldon doesn't... Those of you that are friends with me on Facebook tend to find there are certain things I post and I post it because there's a joke to it or some kind of thing. But there are many things that I just don't even mention, or you will see a post under something fake. Yeah? Like they were at this one last week with some guy with a third eye. And I know Photoshop. Come on, man. A guy with another eye on the forehead and that kind of stupidness. Come on, man. So are you taking this thing for real? Yeah, it is fake. Right? So we have to learn how to suss out, as my grandmother used to say, suss out information. Yeah, not everything you see because it's on Facebook means it's true. 2 out of 3 are fake. Not everything you see on Facebook is true. Learn to tell the difference. I can usually tell the difference in a few minutes, but if I can't, I try to research and try to Google it and even when you Google it, sometimes you have other websites that just share the one from the fake website. So you still have to be careful, right? Because see, a lot of people getting hold with this thing, and a lot of you are getting tied up still. Devon, believe it or not, people are still getting tied up in these con artists that are online, taking people money. You know how much hundreds of thousands of dollars leaving Grenada every year. Maybe even going into the million now.
Maybe every month.
Yeah.
They talk about
by people who trying to get rich quick, and somebody send an email to you saying, look, I look into where's the last one I saw? I saw one this morning. I don't open them. I know how to read them without opening them. And there was this one that was saying they want to open a charitable foundation in Grenada. So, I mean, by the time I start seeing, I just delete you. And then, you know what I mean? Come on. You know these things fake.
Oh, boy.
It's some people in Western Africa and Jamaica, and there may be some locally as well.
Even the U.S.
Yeah, and the U.S. Well, they're afraid of the U.S. now because the laws over there so dread that the operations for these kind of things tend not to be taking place out of the U.S. Now America ain't making joke.
And
the moment you point out this side, the FBI cyber squad on them like...
It's very, very effective. Because of security reasons too. And so they really stepped up.
They're on them one time. So... But Jamaica, and even Jamaica recently, they had a set of guys that were shipped up to the extradited to the United States
a couple of them
for doing this.
Half a dozen of them,
in the African countries, they are lax. They have no interest in stopping this thing because it brings billions of dollars into their economy, so they have no interest in stopping it. They encourage it, in fact. And some of them don't see it as thieving. Yeah, I'm saying it as it is. Many of them don't see it as thieving. So they come on, they tell you that, okay, you've won X amount of money. You know you ain't enter no lottery, but you go in and send information for these people. They just do a stupid kind of ticket, they do a stupid thing like a check, and they send that for you online, and they say, whoa, I have our money to collect, boy. And you run down by Western Union, and morning to the staff at Western Union who continue to do a wonderful job at trying to stop some of you. But some of you ain't listening.
They ain't listening. They figure people mind your business.
So when the staff at Western Union see you going and send a significant amount of money, they ask you some questions sometimes. They say, do you know this person? Do you really know this person? But somehow you find they're trying to stop your blessing. So you look at them. What do she? She took Marco Shas. What she minding my business for? Then you realize after a while you're in from the person and you want to vex with the world. Don't send money to people you don't know. And even if it's people you know, unless you speak to them on the phone and confirm that is that individual, do not send money to them. Because some of them creating fake pages in the image of your friends, they just copy your friends. They could do that. I could do that. Let's see. It's 11:23. It's 11:23. by 11:15, I could create a fake Facebook page with Devon picture.
Yeah.
And start posting as Devon. In 15 minutes, I could do it. Yeah? And then I'll post and say, this is Devon. Look, I'm up in Carriacou. I run out of money. You could send some money from your Western Union and send the money. And these people have their ways of going and clear the money and different things like that. Or they say, listen, I don't have any identification. I lose all my ID. So you have to send it to this person working in the hotel. They will collect it for me. So they send a fake name and so on, a name of some other person that goes with a fake ID and collect the money and disappear. And you never hear from the person again. Stop sending all your money to people outside of Grenada, even inside of Grenada, that you don't know. Stop it.
Your little money, little savings. I mean, come on, people. We need to be more wise.
Let me warn you all, because I see about 8 of those pages on Instagram. Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, I can tell you officially, has no Instagram page. Anybody contact you as the Prime Minister because you have page to shout out he people in the hood, he peeps. For the time you see that language you're supposed to know, don't add them. Don't interact with them. These pages are fake. Don't follow them and don't have them following you. Block them. Because they use the fact that they are following you or you following them for legitimacy. One tried that over this weekend. The Prime Minister of Grenada and no government minister will contact you on Facebook, Instagram or WhatsApp telling you of any funding program that you can be part of. None of them will do it. No government official, no minister, permanent secretary or lower level staff will contact you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or any of those things to tell you about if you get your money yet under any funding program. It doesn't exist. Right? It's Crystal good for all you. One of them message Crystal say, if you know good for you, drop 2 green planting for me and I tell you I want money. Me man win big money in Trinidad. I don't want your money.
They disappear real fast. Good morning and welcome.
Morning. I don't find it really and truly people still don't do that. To send him. I guess people get wise now, man. With the internet and everything, people get really wise and smart now.
Wise?
Some of them get more stupid.
Wise? You would be surprised at the amount of people are getting take with this thing every single week.
Yes.
Every week. People sending money to these people. And I'm talking about no small money, I'm talking about
big money.
These people sending like 600, 700 US.
Sometimes 5,000 US one time.
I can remember in the 90s, the other thing when Kuwait, when Iraq invaded Kuwait, and then they say they want workers. And I can remember playing football and things. I tell bye, but don't take that thing. I say, but this is fake things, and they bring and and somebody want to massive, but somebody want them go in and be sex slave. I say, but they tell me I go argue too much. Then they have deposit. I think it was $200 deposit in one of them bank and them to go Iraq. They say on the well last one truck drivers.
They're still doing it, and people still getting food.
They disappear and they don't realize what I was saying. Because see that you go up, I realize this thing can call me. Then come and say you want to go for a walk on a boat, and they say you have to pay for an interview, $50 for an interview. Guy come and guy scrape the guy all over the area. The people paying the $50 for an interview, So you have to pay for an interview. And so I tell you, people have to be very careful. You see, but since the early 90s, I realized this. I'll be wise on this thing and I get smart on it. No, people can call me this thing, man. It's modern time. That's why I ask you, really and truly, in this modern time, people, if they go old people in this modern time with that. Just got to take care.
You see, they mightn't catch you, They mightn't catch you, but the modern times is why they're using modern strategy. They're using Instagram. There are several fake pages in the name of Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell that I know several of us are working to get rid of. They keep creating fake Facebook pages in his name. They keep creating fake Facebook pages in the names of other ministers. Recently, there was one in the name of Senator Garraway. They keep creating these fake pages in their names and using these pages to message people and say, if you get your money yet under this funding program. When the people decide, no, I haven't gotten to tell me about it, they say, well, the United Nations gave us X amount of money to distribute in Grenada. And what you need to do is you need to send us first the 50 US registration fee. Say, you don't have to send it to me, send it to these people. And they give you an address and everything. Some of these people go, they send the 50 US. Then they say, well, okay, there's a clearance fee of 150 or 200 US that you need to send. They send that. Then they say, okay, there's one final fee that you didn't send yet. You need to send another 300 US. And that 300 US is for us to send the check. and they send a picture and say, look the picture of the check, and I tell your name, everything on it. Look at it, 50,000 US. This is coming to you. Send 300 US to us. And there are people who sending that money to them. There may be people listening to us on a bus right now on their way to town to send that money to them. Don't do it. We're saying it every week.
Go in the supermarket with that money.
Hold your money.
Yeah, or go in a riser. You understand? Or the Grenville Cooperative Credit Union. Understand? Go in them and rest that money there. You go get interest. Don't send it. Be careful. Right? And you know, they are targeting persons, some of them targeting persons who, in their view, are not that
literate
in the technology. You understand? And they would know, you know. And most of the time, too, Sheldon, could be a close friend of yours, you know. Somebody who knows you.
Mm. Yeah, it could even be people in Grenada.
Yeah, who knows you and decide, man, let's, you know, because some of us here, we so copycat. Mm-hmm. Quick to jump and do things that you see other people doing.
Dudes, morning. Morning, dudes. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Huh? Nice.
Morning, Antonia. The two Antonias. Good morning to both of you.
Yes.
Both of you happen to be living in St. John's.
Yeah. Remember the Brotherhood of St. George? That's the Anglican Men's Fellowship. They were supposed to have their oldies dance. They usually have it Shrove Thursday, so they usually have it the Thursday right after Ash Wednesday. No, the Tuesday. They usually have it the Tuesday night before Ash Wednesday. And it was postponed this year because of the death of one of the main members. So they have now put that to the 30th of April. Yeah, the 30th of April at Fantasia Nightclub.
That's next Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a nice place and a nice day to have it. Yeah. The 30th of April at the Fantasia Nightclub, 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. Ticket prices are $20 per person before the 28th of April, $25 after.
Why 2 a.m.?
Yeah, 2 a.m.?
Yeah.
It's a church organization.
Labor Day next day.
Yeah, so
they Labor Day.
They want to make sure you go home so you could labor properly the next day. So, so it's the same price for 2 extra hours because usually, and it's $20. Come on, $20.
Yeah, that's
usually,
that's
what has happened though is that they usually cut off at 12. But remember, that was because they had it on Shrove Tuesday, and from 12 o'clock you actually start Lent.
Yeah, Lent.
So now they have a 2 hours additional.
Yes,
so $25, same price for 2 extra hours. The next day is a public holiday. So all tickets that you had bought already for the Shrove Tuesday, Oldie Goldies, that will be honored. And there are special prizes for the door dancer who is the longest on the dance floor. Oldest dancer on the floor. I tall and I 6'3", so I could be the longest dancer on the dance floor just by stepping on it, you know. You didn't say dancer with the longest duration, and I stand up well. Come and have fun as you dance and socialize with the brotherhood and friends. And remember, these funds are being used to assist with the different programs that the brotherhood run, and you remember the church and everything. So it's well worthy cause. Those of you that can't make it, remember the next day is a holiday, so head on down there and give them the look of $20 and thing. Yeah. Nice.
Hey, good morning to all our young entrepreneurs around Grenada. Those of you who are there already, and those of you who are just thinking of it and wanting to do something. Right? And so good morning to all of you. And Dali, good morning.
Yeah, great.
And to so many good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning to you all.
Good morning, my friend.
And the listening public, yeah. I have a few query or questions, yeah. Since after the election, they had sworn in some ministers, yeah. And this kind of concern me a bit. I never heard no one talk about it, but for instance, I would like to know, for Honorable Simon Still, who is a senator, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Is he the Minister for Climate, Resilience, the Environment, Forestry and Fisheries, yeah?
Yeah, he's a minister in that ministry, yeah? One of the ministers.
One
of 3 ministers, yeah.
So the other 2 persons that are placed there, they are not full-fledged ministers. Who is the real minister then?
There are full-fledged ministers. Each has their specific responsibility.
Exactly.
That's easy to understand. It's one ministry with 3 ministers, and each minister has their specific responsibility within the ministry. That's not rocket science.
So in other words, the minister, the real minister of that sector,
all three are real ministers. That's easy to understand.
But I find that a waste of time, man.
No, that's not a waste of time, because climate change is one of the major issues that are existing right. In fact, Grenada has received a lot of praise for having that ministry as a separate ministry, instead of having it just as a department under another ministry. There are literally billions of dollars in funding available, some of which Grenada has already begun to access for different projects here in Grenada that will be starting soon. So it is not a waste of time. If you don't understand it, we can help you to understand it, but it's not a waste of time.
That's my opinion. You put 3 guys there.
That's your opinion, but it's based on a flawed ideology.
And another point on that. For instance, the other senator, they put full-fledged minister, Mr. Nolan Cox, Minister for Youth Development, Sports, Culture and Art. He didn't run, he didn't win his seat, but you put him a full-fledged minister.
That happens right around the world. That's nothing new.
You don't have to win a seat to become a minister.
I don't understand where you're coming from that, because it makes absolutely no sense. In the United States, all of the people who would be quote-unquote ministers, or as they call them, they're undersecretaries and secretaries. None of them ran.
And then you put Miss Kate Lewis as the minister within that ministry of youth. She won her seat, so I think she should
my brother, you could find whatever you want, but at the end of the day, it is simple to understand. Senator Nolan Cox was a parliamentary secretary for an extended period of time, which means that one, he had ministerial experience already, which Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis did not have as much as him at the point in time, and they work in synergy. Yeah, so even though he's a senator, that does not mean that he should not be a full minister. It's not the first time that this is happening. So you're saying that Franca Bernardine should have never been the Minister of Education in Grenada? Are you saying? Well, I'm asking. No, you are saying that. Are you saying that Ann Peters should have never been the minister?
Let's not start.
We're not arguing. I'm pointing out your hypocrisy. I'm not arguing. You're being a hypocrite, and I'm pointing it out, and I'm telling you live on air that you're a hypocrite, because I didn't hear you saying that Franca Bernardine shouldn't be the ministry. I didn't hear you saying that Franca Bernardine shouldn't be the Minister of Education. Didn't hear you saying that Ann Peters shouldn't be the Minister of Education, or Glenn Noel shouldn't have been the Minister of Information. He was in another department for a while, housing as well. Yeah? I didn't hear you saying that. So it's just being hypocritical.
Miss Moses has won a seat.
Yeah.
And you put her also in education under Minister.
She has specific responsibility. What's hard about that to understand?
I think
my brother Babai. Yeah, making sense. Move there. Yeah. What's so hard to understand about that? I understand. Your aim and objective is try to create conflict between individuals, and you think you're smart. So you call hard talk. You try to foster some sort of confusion between individuals in that, okay, this one is a senator and they have a full ministry, and this one is in a ministry to another person. You're speaking nonsense. In every country in the Caribbean, in Trinidad right now, you have several persons who are senators that hold ministerial portfolios.
Even as high as the Minister of Finance, you have senators.
In every country in the Westminster system, in the Eastern Caribbean and afield in the Caribbean, there are people that hold portfolios who are not full-fledged government ministers. And it is because those people have the competency and capability to be able to handle the job at hand. That's why they've been given that responsibility. Yeah? If you don't understand that or you don't like that, that is your business. But that is the fact. Yeah? Because you're just being a hypocrite. We have a caller.
Hey, good morning, Sheldon. Good morning, Devon.
Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Sheldon, Devon. I listen to this guy. But what I'm going to say, on the NDC, Mr. Frank Alexis, she
well,
was.
we said that. We said all of that already about Franca and Glenn and all of them. So move to our next point.
Miss Franca, Alex.
Yeah, we said that already. Move to our next point.
She came out from the watchdog thing, where she was them was there one of them looking over the election thing. Right? Okay, but yeah, but I'm saying this color never call and say anything when they made a Minister of Education. So he tried to get something out of nothing. I didn't believe this had to ignore this guy.
No, I know. You see, my friend, I know where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And I know what he's trying to foster. And I know the elements that are behind what he's attempting to do. So they ain't gonna get you. Yeah? They ain't gonna get you.
Right? Alright, Papa. I try to make chaos between them. She that one run and win, that one is run away and make them that. Alright? So you have to forget this guy name. Alright? My brother shall I and I want to say congratulations to the character team that went out and they do wonders to Grenada. They make us proud. Bring back silver and gold for our country. So I want to say congratulations to all the athletes that went out there and partake. So Brother Devon, Sheldon, you all have one for the God bless you all.
Thank you, my friend. You know,
there's people that setting up that. But go ahead.
Pele is making a very good observation there, right? Senator Derek Knights, during the period, some of you may not know him or know of him, right? He was a senator, a minister without portfolio, but the wealth of experience that he had, he was able to operate within the different ministries, brought his experience, right, to the other ministers, helping them and everything like that. He was a legal mind also, right? So, I mean, it's not, anyhow, let's not take
no,
him
but
on
you understand
like that,
where that is coming from and
course,
the elements that are behind that.
So I don't want to give him no energy.
You have the council of the hateful.
Yeah.
You have you have the council of the hateful. So don't feel that they don't have alternate members whose job is to call and try and twist the conversation here on Hard Talk.
Of course.
But you have to understand something. It's me and Devon all dealing with.
We ain't giving them no energy.
So all you have to understand, no, I giving them energy. I'm telling them as it is in front of the general public. I ain't going and keep my mouth silent. I ain't going and keep quiet. And then they get away with what they're trying to do. I exposing them. I'm not staying quiet. I'm talking it out. They hypocrite. Yeah? I'm saying it. Who don't like how I say it? Who don't like when I say it? Who don't like that I say it? Well, I'm sorry. But I can't please everybody. But we have to expose them, Devon. Some of them we have to say it as it is. They too hypocrite.
Definitely. And as we on that, there has continued to be attacks on Honorable Delma Thomas in terms of a statement that she made. And so asking the advocates, persons who should know better, right, to tone down. In other words, the comments you make, you got to be careful of the comments you make because it will eventually harm the child than doing any good to the situation. Let us continue to make our observations and comments and be disgust with these type of behaviors. But we got to be very careful as to what we say. Responsibility. Put yourself in the position of that child's mother or father, listening to all the different types of comments that is being put out there. Some of them are not true. Some of them have no facts, basis, and so. But we continue to make these. That is what the minister is trying to tell you. Yes, be a voice. Be a voice for the innocent, for the young ones. But be careful with the comments that you make. It will hurt rather than doing good.
Well, see, Devon, over the weekend, particularly on Saturday, I took the opportunity on social media to question some of the individuals who were on the social media, all hot and sweaty, attacking the minister. And I asked them one simple question that none, zero, zilts, zot, say it in Spanish. Zero again is what? Nada. Yeah. None of them could answer. When did she say people shouldn't post to social media?
They can't answer that.
When did she say that people must not be critical of government on social media? When did she say don't speak about the issue on social media? Nobody can say.
They can't because it's not there. She has never said it.
One in particular, when I hold her Saturday, she just disappeared. And she was the one, every time it's like, minister need to resign, the minister need to go, who she feels she is to tell us to oppose, who she is. Every 2 minutes, that person was posting. I asked them one simple question. I say, I didn't see it, so maybe I'm the wrong one here, but direct me to where the minister said that. They can't do it.
They can't.
Because some of them, again, they jump on somebody say that, the minister say that, and they jump on it and they start to think. You don't do that. You don't do that. Use your critical thinking skills. That's why certain people can't get away with what they're attempting here. And if I realize they get too popular with it, when they call and I realize it's you, I'll just say bye-bye. No, you know me, I ain't time with that. I'll just tell you straight, bye-bye.
And I find all the treading some dangerous grounds. Leave the St. Andrews 4 women alone. You have a lot of consequences for when you going after these women, you know. They are not women to be played with, right? They are surrounded with young people, with women, with men, with everybody, with farmers, everybody who will defend them. Be careful of these 4 St. Andrews women. I'm saying I'm St. Andrews, so I'm making it clear. There are a lot of consequences for that.
Let me tell you one the other one. What happened to the last person from the NDC? Let's go back to this one. In 2013, who was the candidate from the National Democratic Congress in the town of St. George that went up against Honorable Nicholas Steele? Who was the candidate at the NDC?
Who it was? I can't remember.
Was a woman.
Franca?
Yeah.
Yes.
In the 2018 general election, where that individual end up? Outside of being in the political dustbin, but where did they end up?
In 2018 election?
Yeah.
They end up in Southeast.
All right. How much you want to bet me today, the 23rd day of April 2019, that Claudette following the same footsteps?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
How much you want to bet me right now?
You see, because they can't...
The analysts have done their calculations and they have realized that there is absolutely no possibility of Claudette winning the town of St. George seat.
Not as long as Senator Honorable Peter David is running, or even
if he wasn't there.
And even my other NNP candidate that is running.
Even if Pedro decided he running there, she still can't win. So they have decided to try the same thing they tried Franca and flip her day. That is why you hear she keep talking about Gregory Bowen. Every minute now you hear about Gregory Bowen.
Good morning and welcome, Cami.
Good morning.
Overseas.
Good
morning.
Hi, Sheldon.
Morning.
How are you, my darling?
I am quite fine. How are you doing?
Not too bad.
And how is Scotty?
It's Scotty Day, nothing worse. Thank God for that.
All right, wonderful.
I just want to share, Devon.
Yes, good morning.
Morning. Take care of your women, man.
Yes, I have to. It's important.
Yes, protect your women. I like that.
You have to protect your women. Women are the foundation, you know.
Yes. Don't leave it up to them at all.
That's what we're there for. As men, we have to protect what is ours.
Good.
All right, Scotty. But everything okay on your end?
Okay. He's sleeping. I'll tell him you say hello.
Okay, my dear.
Okay, you all take care.
All right, we will.
Bye-bye. Love you.
Take care. Have a wonderful day.
Yes, Scotty and Scotty, man. Devon, you realize that it is strategic. All of a sudden. Now, we know that there was the intention, we're going to go in the Senate, ting. So that is still the intention. And I would like for the NDC to tell me whether or not they went to see the Governor General on that issue. I want to know. I'm hearing things.
I'm hearing something.
The Bush have heirs. And the Bush, not George, but the Bush.
Some people say something
not Jeb,
burning.
but the Bush say that's how certain people went by the GG and asked to get rid of them 2 youth senators. That is why I hear.
I'm hearing something.
So I buy, so I sell. That is what I hear.
We don't selling more, we don't selling less.
And only nobody come in and say it on here just so. That is why I hear. Right? But
very interesting.
But I bet you anything today that the intention is for Claudette Joseph to attempt the St. George Southeast seat. She could go up there and let Brother Bowen teach her a lesson.
Well, of course. I think she's looking for some experience,
He don't beat a man.
No, that's one thing.
He don't beat a man.
Put them sit down.
Yeah. But
right?
he would discipline you.
Discipline, counsel them, and then Well, I mean,
there are different ways to discipline people outside beating them.
Especially disobedient women.
You'll be disciplined.
Yeah.
You could go if you want to go in, because you realize that they've taken a trend of attacking Honorable Gregory Bowen. But don't worry, man.
And no offense to women in general, but there are particular women who sometimes they talk, or I mean, with good morning and welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh boy, it dropped. Yeah. Let me try now.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Mr. Scott.
Morning, Camille. What's up?
And morning to Devon.
Morning, Camille.
And good morning to Grenada, Carriacou, and all the Grenadians from abroad and abroad. Good morning to Mr. Deputy. I hope you're enjoying your holiday. Hold on, Easter.
All quiet. Walking and quiet. Yeah.
Very quiet on my end, too.
Well, let's carry we no sitting down again, boy. I said I didn't call him, but when I hear you talking that, we no sitting down. If I run for the song of St. George, you should get your
relics.
She get...
You have to love people, you know.
Blows in your clothes.
If you don't love people,
you can't win.
You know, you can't get through Grenada. You have to love people. You can't pretend nothing. That ain't happening under the sun. You hear?
Yeah.
Do you hear that, Sheldon and Devon?
Yeah.
Hearing you?
Yeah.
That ain't happening. I hope somebody here wants to tell us today. She really not sitting in the sun and George. That's what happened. Where she want to run now?
or by Gregory?
She could go where she wants.
Yeah,
Something wrong with these people. Anyhow,
they head into the southeast every time they get like symptom.
I hope everybody had a good holiday. Anyhow, I see a lot of work up by me now.
Mm-hmm.
I see the Chinese and then they grade the whole place down by me and on the hill. You know, so things happening. So young people that sitting down by the road, go and give all your names. Give all your names to get work because they trying. Go to them Chinese people and give them your names to get that 2 days work. You know?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people that didn't want to work, but they have the things start.
Mm-hmm.
The things start in Bushel
and speaking,
nothing happening.
And speaking about the housing project.
Nothing happening by me. One thing I want them to do when you're done, they have to fix back the pieces of wall where them big trucks are break down. A man said I stop too much, but I have to protect my home.
Yeah.
And they come with a big truck and they bring this thing. So when it's finished, they have to fix it back. I hope anybody here fix it back. Anyhow, you all have a good day.
All right. All right, darling. Take
and
care.
I'm listening.
Okay.
And say good day to all them busmen for me, please.
Okay.
Yes,
they always tune in and they always listen to the program.
We will. We will.
Matthew and Matthew are high. And look at Rex, yes, Scott.
My partner,
look at Rex right there. Rex. Okay? So you all have a blessed day. And it doesn't, that lady don't win in no ticket.
She's after thought, man.
When you double to call, one time you will see Grenada, you will hear Grenada, you will hear Grenadian, you will see the different song, get on. Hey, have a good day, everybody.
All right.
Everybody, everybody in America, England, Canada. Grenada nice with a nice sunshine. Have a blessed day. Be good. Bye-bye.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hear the thing now, man.
Camille,
it's up our road they coming. They want to go by the grey hair man.
Yeah.
They want to go by the grey hair man. So all you people that can't read all your player.
He's very attractive, you know. The grey haired man, you know.
Yeah. He married and happily so.
Yeah. Handsome. He's married and happily so.
All you want to go by the grey hair man? Go on. Yeah, man. All you go on by the grey hair man. All you go find out. Yeah, but I hear that this certain person that coming in to take over their party, I hear that person kind of looking at the Northeast, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they want to go up in St. George Northeast. The person that coming in.
Yeah,
to take over.
He's expecting.
But it's a serious fighter because Tweedledee and Tweedledum really want that person inside the party.
Nah, they wouldn't because you see, Tweedledee had that hole on that. You know. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, sir.
Good morning to you, Mr. Scott, and good morning to you, Mr. Romain.
Yes, good morning.
And I trust that you all had a great weekend.
Yes, we did.
But listen, when I analyze this weekend, do you know that Grenada is a good place for visitors and Grenada is a good place for its locals? Because we just went through 4 days of spiritual awareness and other celebrations in Grenada. And generally speaking, when we look at the incidents that would have happened in any other part of the world, they would have categorized it as incident-free. Now, I really want people to leave Minister Delma Thomas alone. The reason why I'm saying that is because in the last 2 general elections, and even now, we are fighting with small arms. And they don't want to attack her in a way where her soldiers will have to dig into our present and our historical past from my standpoint as PRA, you understand, and introduce some of our most sophisticated weapons in terms of what we learned to develop in between the 79 and 83 period. Devon, you just stay out of that. No, Mr. Scott, listen to this. There was, just on the weekend, there was, Canberra had the sports, and it was quite successful. And it ended earlier than it should have, because maybe there are no lights in the Canberra playing field. But what I want to say to the people of Canberra, the same issue you had there with lights, based on the activity you had there, is the same one they have up in Adelphi, is the same one they have in Maribor, is the same one they have in Byland, and is the same one they have in Silveram in Paraclete. So the point I'm making here is that if Ms. Thomas and the government was in a position to lit all of these fields, they would all be lit. But the fact that they are not lit at this present time, that just tells us, based what our government at this present time is able to do. So all I'm saying, you don't expect everything to happen when you want to. But over a period of time, as you continue to support Mrs. Delma Thomas, I, as a supporter of Ms. Thomas, can assure you, in the correct time and within the correct space, all of this field will have the necessary lighting that is required in terms of enhancing, the spiritual, the cultural, and other aspect of every community that needs lighting at this time. But as you know, everything cannot be done now. And it's not just your playing field in the northwest in St. Andrews that need lighting. Just so all the other playing fields in St. Andrews. So you have to be patient, and let's take it one day at a time. The people's needs will be met. You just have to be patient. Gentlemen, I trust you will all have a pleasant day.
All right, thank you very
my
much.
Friend.
Yeah, go ahead and juke and sness. Go ahead. Interfere with them 4 ladies up in St. Andrews.
St. Andrews is not a place to play with. Right now, and where the women control, the women run this thing in St. Andrews, all the men listening and paying attention to them. I'm telling all of that. And when women have men listening to them and thing is a difficult thing. A very difficult. Not all men like to take orders from women, right? But when you have a majority of the men in St. Andrews following these 4 women in particular, right, who look to them for leadership, and so it's not a difficult thing to uproot. Right? Not that the men can't do it. Men have been given chances over the years. Some of them have not fulfilled. Some of them made a mess out of it. Right? It's the women time now. Give them a chance. That's all I had to say.
On that?
All I had to say.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I had a close one yesterday. Heaven put an angel over me. Be strong for meditation. One day things must get better.
Seeing that there are a lot of haters out there who hated on Buju Banton and Judah.
Don't you go down, put your head above the waters, yeah. Things must get better.
And in Grenada situation, you see that things has been getting better since 2013. Things has been getting better. The economy is much more buoyant, right? More robust. It can take, the shocks and so, right? Our people are educating themselves more. Young people are getting out there and being part of the development. Our women are getting more involved. Our men are getting more involved. And so, we need to continue along that path. Ain't no stopping us now. Not now, we ain't.
Yeah, we had a close one yesterday. Folks, that's nearly all the time we had today.
What's new in politics? Just for a minute or two, what's new in politics in Grenada or the region?
In the region right now, not much. It's kind of, people was kind of on the low because of the Easter period. So right now,
I know Vinci election is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
Right. A couple of elections are in the air within the
Trinidad election is within a year.
Yeah, could be before the end of the year.
The problem with what I'm seeing happening in Trinidad is I think that in Trinidad and Jamaica, their politics is based on two different things than in Grenada. In Trinidad, politics is based a lot on race. Like it, don't like it, admit it, don't admit it, is the truth.
Also,
who don't like
also in
it.
Guyana too.
Yeah. And so in Trinidad right now, it had sort of broken out from that in the mid-1980s with the advent of the NER. Yeah. It had sort of broken out from the, if you're an East Indian, you vote for the, used to be the DLP, and so on. So if you're an East Indian, you vote for the UNC. And if you're an Afro-Trinidadian, you vote for the PNM. It had sort of broken out from that in the mid to late 1980s with the advent of the NER, and then even when the UNC broke off from the NER, and so it still didn't go back to that sort of racist politics. But after the last general election in Trinidad, it seems as though, especially one of the political parties, I don't want to go and say this one or that one, but one of the political parties has started to push a purely racist agenda. In that if you belong to that race, vote for us and don't vote for the other side.
That's not good.
Yeah, so it has started to divide Trinidad in a way that, having lived there for many years, I hadn't seen Trinidad divided for a very, very long time along the lines of race. Yeah, because when the NER came in, they came in with this thing about one love. Yeah, so whether you're East Indian, you're Negro, whatever, it was one love. That was actually the theme for the election, one love. Now it has started to push back into that sort of, if you're East Indian, vote this way, and if you're a Negro, vote this way. All right, so that is that. In Jamaica, there has actually been a call by the PNP. They have actually called on their supporters to go back to the socialists versus the capitalist sort of thing.
Of the 1980s.
So they've been trying to phrase the GLP administration as capitalists, and they as the socialists that are supposed to come in and save the world kind of thing. So that had broken off because you had many people that were in the PNP ended up in the GLP, and many in the GLP ended up in the PNP. So there's a mixed mash. But over the past year or two, they have been pushing an agenda now that, look, we need to go back down to base. And back to base means that the PNP is a socialist organization, and this is the way that we believe we should operate. These are the principles we operate under, and so they've been going back to basic principles, and so, which might be the best thing when you remember the 1980 election and those kind of things. What happened in Jamaica? The rest of the region politics is differently based. It's based different. It's not based on those principles. The only other one you may have had, that's what a capitalist socialist thing at a point in time was here in Grenada. And you can't even say that exists now. No. Because in both camps you have people from both sides of the fence. So it doesn't exist in Grenada. So that is how that has been. That is what is taking place regionally when it comes to politics right now. I think Belize is supposed to be having an election as well. We consider them part of the Caribbean, even though they're more in Central America.
Guyana is soon.
Guyana, I'm not too sure they're going to have an election. I know that they threw that out in court. So they threw out the motion of no confidence was thrown out in court.
But election is due pretty soon in Guyana too.
I am not too positive. Probably it is. But that's what's taking place. But folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. It's been wonderful being here. And whatever you say, whatever you do, do it nice, safe, and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you.
And not about you.
Yeah, and we'll always continue playing for Team Grenada.
Yeah, Team Grenada.
On Friday, May 10th, the most anticipated food and drink event is upon us again as the RGPF Police Week Comedy presents Food Fest 2019. Pearls Strip is the venue as the clubs of the RGPF join forces with the Grenada Customs, Her Majesty's Prison, and the Grenada Airports Authority, and will all compete for culinary supremacy. From 12 midday, food goes on sale. Each participating club will prepare and present a variety of local dishes, which will be judged and critiqued based on taste, presentation, use of ingredients, and applied knowledge. I'm telling you, these guys and girls could cook. And as evening simmers in, the action gets turned up with music, top DJs, artists, live band, queen and king contestant appearances. Food Fest 2019, Pearls Strip, Friday, 10th May. The perfect family event.
Grenada prepares for fourth round mutual evaluation by the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. Stay with us, we'll have the details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Thursday, April 18th, I'm Delroy Louison. Grenada is preparing for its fourth round mutual evaluation by the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force in the second quarter of next year. Led by the Financial Intelligence Unit in partnership with the AML-CFT Commission, a workshop was held at the National Stadium on Thursday involving a multi-sectoral grouping which included government departments, financial institutions, and designated non-financial businesses and professions. Part of the day's exercise involved examining a technical compliance questionnaire to ensure they all knew what was expected of Grenada. Grenada will be judged on 40 recommendations from the Financial Action Task Force to determine if it meets the criteria. Head of the Financial Intelligence Unit, Tafawa Pear, says the 2020 evaluation process includes an on-site visit for about 2 weeks with about 7 members coming from different member countries of the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. They will use the 40 recommendations from the FATF as a guide. Mr. Pear says the focus will not be solely on technical compliance, but more so on effectiveness.
So this fourth round, we're focusing on effectiveness, whether or not the laws we put in place and we boast and tout about can in fact work on the ground. And we have to show that it has been working on the ground.
According to the FIU head, they have until December to submit their information. He says vigilance must be their watchword.
One of the issues we see is that institutions have not yet embedded the AML-CFT into the psyche of the organization. Right? It's still outside the current culture. So they're doing that, and AML is that kind of thing they do on the side that the workers feel troubled by and uncomfortable and they complain about it. So them again with that, the FIU again with that, that's how they view it. We want that to change, we want to be part of the culture. So those of you who are in management position, have you considered including, as part of your recognition at the end of the year, somebody who's vigilant in AML-CFT? Many people feel that is important, right? Have you considered remunerating people for being vigilant and identifying them? Have you considered putting AML into their job description? So you have a supervisor who has a big role and there's no AML in a job description. If I know anything about anything, you can't manage that. You must be guided by something in writing saying that AML is an important part of what you do.
Grenada went through the third round evaluation around 2008-2009. Minister for Education, the Honorable Emmeline Pear, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to meet with the leadership of the Grenada Union of Teachers to chart the way forward for education. Minister Pear, who was one of the facilitators of government's weekly post-cabinet briefing on Wednesday, said prior to the impasse, discussions were held between the government and teachers, which were fruitful. Minister Pear called on the newly elected executive to bridge the conversation gap that exists between both parties to resolve the current impasse.
To register the Ministry of Education's willingness to sit with the Grenada Union of Teachers to discuss the way forward. After last year's conference, which is an annual conference, I met with the president of the union and invited the executive to a monthly meeting with the Ministry of Education. Before the industrial actions, we were able to have 2 meetings. And as I said to the teachers yesterday, in my view, those 2 meetings set the tone and really did indicate, in my opinion, that we were ready to sit and work together to chart the way forward for the education system, and particularly to address outstanding matters between the Ministry of Education, Government of Grenada, and the Grenada Union of Teachers. Unfortunately, since the industrial action, we have not been able to find the time to sit and to continue discussion.
The Education Minister dismissed claims that government does not care about the teachers' well-being. She highlighted government's efforts to strategize ways to cushion the effects of the impasse on the education sector.
Government has been doing, and it's an irrefutable fact, that this government has done a lot for teachers. And this government, I believe, respects our teachers. Sometimes we mix things up, and we mix things up to the point that we can make things appear to be something else. I do believe that this government respects our teachers, and I believe that from the deepest part of my heart. I do also believe that this government is doing all that they can for our teachers within the government's means, and I do believe that the government will continue to do as much as it can do to support our teachers.
Minister Pear reiterated that in order to move forward efficiently, negotiations must be held. She called on the executive to return to the negotiating table.
We can't do that without communication. We have to talk. So if there's a negotiating table, we need to sit there and discuss. If there's an opportunity within the context of the ministry, we have to talk. And I think there is a gap, a conversation gap that needs to be filled. And as minister, I'm saying to the union, as I said yesterday, we are inviting again the new executive. Let us sit, let us discuss. We have the collective agreement between government and the union. There are outstanding things. I won't say to you we've done everything. There are outstanding things, but we need to sit and discuss.
Minister Pear addressed the GUT membership at the annual conference on Tuesday. This is the National Report. Stay with us. We'll have more news after the break.
The eyes of the world are on us more than ever. So let's take it to them. Saturday, May 4th, the Spice Mass Corporation launches Spice Mass 2019. The Caribbean's biggest summer festival. This year's launch starts with a roadshow from Carriacou to the National Stadium from 3 p.m. Bring out your last year's costume and join the parade. It's one big experience with a display of fancy man, traditional man, Moko Jumbi, and the most envied Jab Jab. The official opening is at the National Stadium, featuring your favorite soca artists and DJ, Calypso Monarch, Steel Pan Champions, and presentations of the 2019 Carnival Queen contestants, plus displays of 2019 costumes, SMC show tickets, and other attractions to be won. Saturday, May 4th, the National Stadium, the launch of Spice Mass 2019. Bring out the entire family. Log on to spicemassgrenada.com for more.
Continuing the news, the Ministry of Education says all schools have entered scores for school-based assessments into the system. When she last engaged the media, Minister for Education, the Honorable Emmeline Pear, had indicated that most schools had submitted scores, and the few who missed the deadline had requested an extension to be able to do so. During the weekly post-cabinet briefing on Wednesday, the minister commended principals and teachers for their significant cooperation in ensuring that the scores of all students were submitted. Meanwhile, representatives from the Caribbean Examinations Council will be in Grenada for 2 days in the first week of May to meet with the Ministry of Education officials and parents for the purpose of information sharing and clarifying all concerns. Minister Pear hopes the meeting will clear all doubts and misconceptions about SBAs. And finally, in the national report, the rank and file of the Royal Grenada Police Force is putting measures in place to actively prepare for the 2019 hurricane season. On Wednesday, officers participated in an annual hurricane preparedness tabletop exercise aimed at sharpening their skills in performing their duties should a hurricane strike. The session was used to develop individual plans for mobilization and deployment from the overall strategic plan of the RGPF. Training facilitator, Assistant Commissioner of Police Jesmond Prince, spoke of the importance of engaging the officers in the training.
We usually start off the season with doing 3 things. One, we do an assessment of our resources, right? So we do what we call an inspection of our resources. We do a review of our plans, and then we take that and come into a tabletop exercise, which we're doing today. And then after that, we do what we call a simulation exercise, where we actually go on the ground and simulate something similar to what we anticipate a hurricane can do. And we bring all our players in. We sometimes even incorporate the hospital and NADMA and other players to play with us during that time. So this is the second part of what we do annually. The third part will be the actual exercise, the scenario-based exercise on the ground.
Prince says the training will also help the officers formulate a hurricane plan for their families in the event they are deployed. He highlighted some of the many benefits to be derived.
What we've seen over the years is that more and more officers are becoming familiar with the plan, and it's becoming like second nature. And that's what we really want to happen. We want every single officer in the RGPF to understand what the national plan is, and what the force plan is, what the district plan is, or the station plan is, and even their own personal plan, because this is right down to the individual personal plan for his or her family. Because it is difficult to have an officer come to work for you when he's worried about what is happening in his family. So this is cascaded all the way down to the officer's plan. So what we see happening is that more and more officers are becoming familiar with the overall plan, with the force plan, with the station plan, and again being encouraged to do their own plan.
That story concludes the national report for Thursday, April 2019. Recapping the headline: Grenada prepares for 4th round mutual evaluation by the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. On behalf of all who made this newscast possible, management and staff of the Government Information Service, thank you for joining us, and do have yourselves an enjoyable, peaceful Easter weekend.